Alright, today we've got in the bottom left MYEYES as the blue dynasty versus Marz as the green GDF. We are playing on bridges out. This map tends to be GDF favored. Two reasons for that. These choke points right here on either side are generally pretty hard to break through if the GDF can get kind of a force over here. In here, it's really tough for the pillagers and other early pushes to get in, as well as this section up here is really tough to break through in the late game for the dynasty once they get their DCUs and whatnot up. But haven't seen this on the new patch yet, so we'll see how this goes. GDF sending his first scout over to this building over here, trying to deny the technician from getting in there. Dynasty going to be doing the same. He's going to be able to because his second unit was an engineer instead of a scout. So if he wants to, he can get in there and kill that engineer. Same thing with the dynasty though. He's going to let his engineer get uncontested. He is sending a field scout after, but it's not going to make it in time if you play. Okay. Let's see. If he's paying attention, he can get this engineer. Yeah, you have to target it. If you're in this building on the left, on the opposite side of where he's getting in, it won't ever kill the engineer, so you have to kind of micro and start attacking it before the engineer starts capturing. The engineer was killed down here, though, or the technician. So that's good for the GDF. Pillager coming out now. Let's see where he's going. It looks like he went a pillager after one. That's really aggressive. Pillager after one rig, extremely aggressive. He's going to try to deny this TPC over here. An MCV move. I do not like that. I mean, it's not too far, so it's not terrible, but it's not really necessary because you can just building crawl, and it's not really much of a saving there. So yeah, Pillager and the Scout going to deny this engineer for sure. He's going to turn back before the bridge dies. Second technician going in to capture this. Other TPC already been captured. Pillager actually crossing the bridge now. MYEYES does have 3 drone ups there, so he can defend this with good micro, no problem. Especially with this good building placement. Gonna start to split those already though. Ooh, just barely avoided the explosion there. Yeah, when you get in that kind of situation, you gotta try to, instead of just selecting all, he's gonna lose even more of them now. Oh man. That's not great for one pillager. So what you got to do there is you got to kind of make like tiny box selects. I can't really do it here, but you got to make tiny box selects so you get 2 of the drone ops at a time, and then you'll be able to actually split them off into several groups as opposed to selecting all of them and running away from the pillager. Because otherwise the splash is going to kill all of them. Okay. First doctrine is for Marz. He's got the fast development doctrine. That just means he's going to be able to get some buildings a bit faster here, try to make up for that MCB move. Dynasty up to 3 rigs, but excuse me, 5 rigs. 2 of them coming out just now. So Dynasty has the income advantage for sure. Not sure why he sold this refinery. It's in the process of selling right now. Oh, maybe it might be unpowered actually. He might be low power. Yeah, looks like he might have been. Sort of shows up the same if you're selling it or powering down. It kind of just blacks it out for a bit. Not many units for the Dynasty yet. He's going really hard into macro, building a lot of rigs at the moment. This technician's also going to capture this mission control, so it looks like he's going to try to overwhelm the GDF with a lot of economy. It's really important for the Dynasty to do that anyway, though, on this map, because this map is misleading for how much Tempest it has. You can actually... First of all, this doesn't even start growing until the start of the match, so this entire half of the field is empty. And this one doesn't grow back, so you've really not got much Tempest to work with, because you've only got this one field that's really full and has a giant root there. So as the Dynasty, you really want to try to get both these corners, or whichever corner you can get, as fast as possible. Got a missile trooper for Dynasty there. Oh, he actually got the TPC. That should be the GDFs. That's funny. I thought he was going to go for that mission control. I was wrong. Let's go to the Dynasty's point of view for a second. I'm curious to see what he's macroing. He started to get doctrines. He skipped the explosion buff doctrine. Oh, he actually just got it. Okay. Generally, you go for the explosion doctrine first if you're going for some sort of rush where you have a lot of missile troopers, but obviously he's not building any missile troopers, so he didn't think that was necessary. Yeah, this is not good for the GDF here. He's only got 4 harvesters still. I don't know why he hasn't taken this with an engineer yet. He really needs this expansion down here. The economy lead is going to be the economy and the army lead. Excuse me. It's going to be in Dynasty's favor very soon. You can see he's already have triple the supply of the GDF. He should be able to defend this attack, but even if he does trade pretty evenly, it's not going to be great for him because Dynasty has so many rigs right now. He's even got his second MCV out. Must have the Bastion upgrade already, so he's really getting into tech. Okay, GDF's got 3 barracks and the specialist pod, as well as tier 3, so that could actually help him, but he still needs more economy too if he wants to get some tier 3 pumping. The Dynasty hasn't putting any pressure, so he really needs to cap this mission control immediately if he wants to get back into this. Okay, he is going into the mission control finally with that engineer. If he attacks right now, though, it's pretty much game over. There's not even close to enough to defend this right now. It's usually pretty good to have a scout of some sort on both of these lanes. I would probably have a dragonfly at this point because they're really fast, so you can move them back and forth really quickly. However, neither player really knows what the other is doing at the moment. They haven't scouted in the past 6 or 7 minutes, I would say. So they're kind of scouting around the corners of the map, but not really knowing where the other person's army is. So they're kind of fighting blind here. GDF has so much money. Yeah, so another thing Marz needs is a second factory, because obviously he can't spend all the money that he has with just these available structures. So another factory, as well as this refinery, and a couple more harvesters much earlier, and he'd be in a decent spot. but the dynasty's starting to push out and take a lot of map control now, and there's not really anything you can do. There's not really anything that the GDF can do about it at the moment. Yeah, these matchsticks are going to be deadly. There's no anti-air. Shield minions are probably the only thing that can stop that amount of matchsticks. Oh, I missed this. He has a hammer hand. I wonder what's in here. Dynasty just poking around at the moment, not willing to come in with his pillagers yet. Just get some free damage before they arrive. Yeah, one shield maiden comes out, but that's not really going to be enough to stop the rest of the ground army here. Hammerhand? What you got in there? Anything? I guess not. Well, anyway, didn't really need that. He's going to pretty much roll over with these pillagers. Not enough ground to stop that. Yep, that's going to be all she wrote. Even in this position with the only 4 harvesters, if he'd been able to spend some of his money a little bit more, he might have been able to hold that. But long term, either way, he's still going to get this expansion earlier, or you're not going to be able to compete with the dynasty. And that's going to be GG. Yeah, you can see that to double the economy. Because he had double the amount of harvesters the entire game, pretty much. Alright, back for game 2. Same opponents, same factions, same colors. The bottom right, we've got Marz again as the GDF. The top left, we've got MYEYES as the Dynasty. Let's see if Marz can make some adjustments on this map. This map tends to be more favored for Dynasty if they go for a rush. I like to do sometimes a 3-factory 1 into a specialist bureau and then go for a line officer or just a call a guard rush. That tends to work pretty well because the base locations are pretty short, and before that you can kind of grab a pillager and clear out all this stuff so you can deny vision for the GDF, make it hard to know what's coming. Anyway, we got first field scout going up here again for Marz. Let's see if he gets in the building or tries to go for the TPC. Looks like just going for the fortification. Try to get some map vision. Both players again going for engineer second unit. Oh, he actually does go up a little bit, but gets denied by the... Not sure why he didn't attack that, actually. He may have gotten some free hits, because a field scout should definitely be a dynasty guard. No pressure coming down here from the dynasty guard. They usually have to defend this one from the field scout, so they have to commit to sending 2 or 3 guards there. He's got 2 guards in here, I think. Not really necessary. Let's see, pillager after 1 rig again. Unless it's a really weird map like Road to Ruin, I tend to usually only go after 2. I would go for a pillager after 2 rigs. That's usually fast enough to still deny this TPC here, and you're not really setting back your own economy. For Marz, we got the fast development doctrine first again. So if you go for that fast, it's usually a good idea to go for a selling refinery strategy. So for example, you would make like 3 refineries here and then sell one of them off so you get the harvester faster. as opposed to building an extra one from the factory. But let's see what he does here. Remember from last game, the harvester counts were very skewed in favor of the Dynasty, so let's see if he can keep up the economy here. Dynasty actually capturing this mission control, so he's going to be trying to send out a factory soon. Yep, right now. Machine shop. He's going to be very aggressive with the macro again. Two factory, pretty fast for the GDF here. I think as GDF you've got two options here. You can either go for the place some form of building here and get your satellite right in the edge, and then throw your refinery down here, or you can do an MCV move up here. That should. Oh, he actually changes his mind. He goes for satellite instead. Pillager coming down here for the second rig. Let's see if he can separate these drone ops. Oh, he loses all of them, man. Yep, that's not good. Another case of need to split those drone ops up more instead of letting them clump. MYEYES has an AFK rig, but he's still doing pretty good on economy. He's got one harvester advantage to the GDF. So now at this point, since he's not committing to the low ground, I would probably be moving my MCV up here, because you've got to find a way to get to your second expansion pretty fast, so the Dynasty is going to, again, get an economy advantage over you. He's already got this one filled up, and if he ever deploys this rig, he will have a for sure economy advantage, having 3 different fields in control. Another thing that's important to pay attention to is GDF. Sometimes this will happen where you get 3 harvesters going to 1, but you really want to... So for example, right now, as this one's unloading, he should micro this one to gather from this patch instead. Oh, this one actually went to there. So it actually worked itself out. Never mind. That doesn't always happen, but just be aware of that. Sometimes the harvesters get messed up and go 3-to-1 harvest, 3-to-1 refinery. 2 barracks over here. I've not seen anything like this, but he knows that he can pressure pretty hard because he killed a lot of the drone ops, so he's ahead in army. Now you see he does go for the explosion doctrine first, so he's going to get, I forget what the numbers are, but he's got more explosion damage radius, and he's gone for a fast bureau to try to get, let's see, what did I say? 1, this is actually only 2 factory. And then he's gone for the specialist bureau, so he's got a sniper out and a bunch of infantry from those 3 barracks he actually has from the original one there. So it's going to be a heavy infantry push, obviously. For 6 minutes, this probably could have hit earlier. Let's see where this rig goes. This rig should be rallying over here at this point. Okay, he actually does use the call of the guard over here, so now he's going to be ready to attack. Let's see how this goes. GDF should have enough to hold. Oh man, he's going 1 factory again though. He's gotta... Yeah, he's still at 4. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same situation, right? He's just not going to have enough economy or army to deal with this. Even more than double the economy at this point for the Dynasty. He's going to try to rely on these turrets. Since it's like 90% infantry, he could probably actually hold this because the Dynasty took a bit too long to get into here, but let's see how this goes. Goodbye, guards. That is one thing Tempest artillery excel at, groups of infantry. Did not want to go into there with that. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, the Dynasty can pretty much just keep him contained in his base, and at this point, I'm not sure if he can ever expand. He's getting his second and third MCVs up, and he's probably going to be looking to tech now. If I were the Dynasty in this situation, I would keep most of your army around here, around the high ground areas, and make sure you get a scout over into this side to make sure he's not expanding. Because as long as you know he's stuck in this little base over here, his main base, you know he's not going to be a threat. He can't really pressure you if he's still sitting on that one base here. Got a sniper here. Just trying to check out the army size, it looks like. Dynasty taking this section of the map also. The economy lead is insane. Again, Marz is floating a lot of resources, though. He could be almost even with army size if he would have a second factory, and these barracks don't look like they're pumping anything out right now. Yeah, he's gonna need some sort of siege vehicles to get through those artillery. So he's got some MLRS out right now, porcupines. Porters are a good choice as well. Something I think is lacking at a lot of levels is scouting. I think it's really important to try to scout your enemy like every minute or so, because for example right now, even if you would just send a dragonfly, just send it like behind his base or like over the field, he would be able to see almost his entire base and probably avoid the shield maiden, and he would be able to see the entire base and see that he pretty much only has these 4 turrets defending him, and he can get rolled over with this entire army right now. But since he doesn't know that, he's kind of just sitting here a little hesitantly. But without that information, he's not going to know if he should go in or not. When realistically, he could crush this entire base right now. So he's going to go in now, but he's not really sure what his army composition is. Like, he's got a scrambler, so yeah, scrambler came in from the wrong angle there. Got stuck in front of all the armor. Tried to use that chaff ability, which still would one-shot pretty much all this infantry. Yep, that's gonna be it though. Dynasty army too much macro, too much siege and tanky units to break through all these tier 3 defense. That's GG. Yep, pretty much same story as last game, just gotta expand earlier, keep up with the Dynasty, Make sure you're not falling too far behind in the economy.